Hello and welcome to the I've Seen Everything Reaction Wrap-Up podcast. Here is where I share my thoughts, reactions, and review for my latest reaction videos. To find these full reaction videos, please search for @SeenEverything over on YouTube, or check the description of this podcast for more information. Also, please remember to rate and comment on this episode, and follow the podcast so you can see when I'm putting out new wrap-ups. And now, on to my latest wrap-up for Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald. Well, what do I think of this Fantastic Beasts movie? I wonder if I have a different perspective of these movies. I mean, I've theorized about this in the past, and I've been off base. I've had other people comment to me about assumptions about what their ties to the Harry Potter movies are. It's not necessarily that. Like, I went into it thinking, well, it's just one of these things, you know, if you grew up with it in particular, you have not just that they're good stories, but that you have nostalgia wrapped up in it, and which makes the tie to it extra strong. But there are people who came to those stories at all different ages, places in their life, through all different kinds of circumstances, and certainly met a lot of very nice people that are fans of Harry Potter when I was doing those movies, and learned a lot of different stories about how they came to those movies. I feel like because these came later and they had such a different tone, that people were coming into this looking for something that felt like a Harry Potter movie. And when it didn't feel that way, they were disappointed. They're like, I don't like this. This isn't the wizarding world I know. And I can totally understand that. I can totally see that. If you've watched 8 Harry Potter movies, and especially if you've read the books, and you're just a true diehard fan of those things, I could understand this turn into a different direction not being your cup of tea. But I have to say, I'm enjoying it. I am. Now, did I enjoy this movie, the second Fantastic Beasts movie, as much as the first? I don't know, honestly, because they've gone different directions. They have different goals that they're trying to accomplish. The first one just introduce us to this part of the world, this different time period, take us to America, show us all these creatures, introduce us to Newt, and there were some wonderful sequences, some wonderful visuals. I liked the characters. I liked the general feel of it. It was very different than what you would come to know from a Harry Potter movie. It wasn't that. It was very much this thing of, hey, it's going to be within this same world, but we're going to go tell you a different story with different characters, and it's going to feel different. But it's going to have crossover. It's going to have things that obviously exist in that other world because it's the same world. Again, I think I said this in the last reaction. It really makes me think, and I'm not the biggest Star Wars fan out there for sure, but I know that there have been a lot of people happy with the work that's been done of recent with the Star Wars universe. Not the sequel trilogy, but some of the TV work they're doing, some of the other things, and/or The Mandalorian, where they're going off and doing different things. Things that feel different than what they're used to with Star Wars. Things that exist in a different space, almost in a different genre, and have a different tonal feel, different characters, all of it. That's how I see something like this, and that's what I'm sure they were attempting to do. And I'm enjoying it, and maybe the reason I'm enjoying it, I think it's well done for what they're trying to accomplish, but maybe the reason I'm enjoying it also is because I'm not necessarily as precious about the Harry Potter movies because I just watched them for the first time a few months ago as of recording this. I enjoyed them for sure. But I'm not so precious about them that if someone says, hey, we're going to tell this very different kind of story in that same world, that I'm like, no, this is what this is supposed to be and it's not that and I'm out. That's just where I am with it. Now, again, if that's not where you are with it, completely understandable. I mean, stuff like this is a gamble. Even the Star Wars stuff I just talked about was a gamble. Nobody knew it was going to work. The Mandalorian was one of their first real big shots at that. Took off, did well for them, but nobody knew if it was actually going to go anywhere. And Andor was like a sleeper hit. But definitely some things happened here that I didn't expect. Obviously, when they did the first movie, they didn't know for sure if there was going to be any more. They had to wait and see what was going to happen. I don't know how many books there are, so I don't know if they actually ended up making movies for all the books, or if they kind of sputtered out at a certain point. Obviously, this movie is a setup for the following one. So the first movie must have done well enough that they did an order for the following 2, because this would have been very unsatisfying if it got left here. We still have secrets to be revealed, which it's called The Secrets of Dumbledore. It's fitting. We have more characters still to come in. Jessica Williams' character, I think, has a greater role in the following movie. Is Zoe Kravitz's Lita Lestrange actually gone? They certainly think so now, but we certainly thought Credence was gone. So who knows? Credence is not Credence. He is a member of the Dumbledore family. I don't know if he's Dumbledore's brother. I think that Grindelwald might have said that he is, in which case there's a story there to hear. We see Hogwarts for the first time in this movie, and we have Grindelwald mounting for an attack, mounting for war. saying that he doesn't hate the humans, but it sure feels like he hates the humans. Also, he lies basically as much as he speaks. So, Queenie got seduced by him. Can we get Queenie back? I don't know. Can Credence be saved? I don't know. There's only one way for us to find out, and that is to watch the third movie, which I fully intend to do. I hope you'll come back and watch it with me. I appreciate you being here to watch this one with me today, and I will see you on the next video. Take care. Thanks so much for listening to the I've Seen Everything reaction wrap-up. Again, to find these full reaction videos, please search for @SeenEverything over on YouTube or check the description of this podcast for more information. Also, please remember to rate and comment on this episode and follow the podcast so you can see when I'm putting out new wrap-ups. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll meet you here for the next episode.